So good afternoon, everyone. As I was introduced, Ian Henkes. So Ben and I are going to tag team this thing a little bit because we believe at Nextier the partnership between the digital capabilities that we have in operations are one of the key factors to our success and our differentiators versus our competition. So I'm kind of going to introduce a little bit about who Nextier is, what our capabilities are. Ben's going to elaborate on the Nextier Next Hub, which is our digital platform, and how that supports the operation. And then we'll go into why Corva works so well with us and why we decided to partner as two companies. So you may know us from, we're a completions company, so frac wireline. We also have cementing and coiled tubing. We also have a logistics business that is a last mile solution for delivering sand. We have a trucking company that we own, and we have a pretty large trucking capabilities and last mile solution. So that's what we're kind of known for, but we do have more than just that. We've been talking to customers for the last few years, and we know that the transition to greener technology and lower cost is the objective of every customer out there. And so we're in line with that. So low cost, low carbon, or low greenhouse gases is our mission. So technologies that we're investing in are Tier 4 technologies, electric, gas burning technologies, and that is under development right now. So as well, we have power solutions, which is CNG field gas capabilities at the well site, which is unique in the industry, where we can not only supplement as a redundancy to field gas, but we can also blend to give the best quality gas for the application in the field. But not only do we have this, we also have the digital capabilities that a few years ago we invested in creating a unified data model, standardizing all of our data capture in the field using the same control system, using the company that we have, MDT, and it allowed us to stream all of our data in a standard way to the data cloud, and that allows us now to go into a partnership with a company like Corva to make the visualization of the data much better. So I will hand it off now to Ben, who's going to talk a little bit about our digital capabilities in the Next Hub.
Thank you, Ian. And thank you, Courtney, and the rest of the Corva team for hosting us here today. As Ian said, my name is Ben Dickinson. I'm the director of our Next Hub Operations Center. So getting into a little bit of details about our Next Hub Digital Center. So this all actually started back in 2018 when one of Nextier's legacy companies wanted to solve a very simple problem that most service companies tend to have, which is we have too much data and no standard or simple way to use it. So for any of those that were around for our keynote speeches this morning, it seems to be a widely, universally known problem in our industry. So today, the Next Hub Digital Center has evolved to become a 24/7, 365 remote operations center that is there to support our completions operations. It's fully staffed with 3 specialized teams that are located here at our Nextier's Houston headquarters. So the Next Hub's mission is to drive, monitor, and power our operations with the best available data and tools. And this is all to enable a culture of continuous innovation and improvement. So we actually began by developing our own internal platform that could predict and alert our crews to potential equipment failures. This simple but practical solution was the launching point for what Ian mentioned was our unified data warehouse, and what would eventually become the first family that exists today in the Next Hub, which is our equipment health monitoring team. The next step was moving on to engineering. In the traditional model of a frac fleet, engineering expertise is typically siloed into one region or one crew or one person on location. Our goal was to combine all of that brain power into a single collaborative space where we could focus on data delivery and stimulation improvement in a way that would benefit the entire organization. I'm happy to say that our success gave way to our second Next Hub team, which is our digital operations engineers. Lastly, but certainly not least, is our fastest growing team, our logistics and control tower team. In the last year, this team has revolutionized the way we deliver sand to our well sites. Using a robust AI-driven platform, our logistics engineers can now move tens of millions of pounds of sand with one click of a mouse, where in the past it would take us hundreds of phone calls a day. In late 2019, the true vision of the Next Hub came to fruition when Keen and C&J Energy Services merged to form what is now Nextier. Combining Keen's sophisticated data architecture with C&J's superior MDT controls, which Ian spoke about just now, we now have the power to standardize and unify all of the data streams that were coming off of our locations. Today, the proof of the Next Hub's execution is in our performance. Since its inception, we've seen a 32% decrease in NPT across all of our locations, and also a 23% reduction in our maintenance CapEx spend annually. In our control tower, we've seen significantly decreased wait time on location, and we nearly eliminated demerge. And this was seen and immediately realized with the launch of the control tower back in early 2020. Now talking about the future of our integration and Corva, I'm going to hand it back over to Ian.
So our digital capabilities really enable us to do a lot of really interesting things. And I can't tell you how excited we are about the partnership with Corva, because historically we've had a tremendous amount of data streaming from the field, and it's really difficult to get that one report that tells you everything you need to know, right? So it's difficult to get the data in a digestible format. So the partnership with Corva, which Ben will talk about, I don't want to steal your thunder, but what I'm excited about is the fact that from an integrated perspective, we feel that there can be a lot of cost synergies, a lot of efficiencies recognized when we put it all under one roof, under one management team, where everybody has the same culture, they have the same management and the same goals, and they're all aligned. And this allows for a multi-skilled workforce, and it really allows for a lot of synergies in cost if we have all the data talking to each other, and we have a proper control system that can manage inefficiencies. So standardized sensoring, the data capture, data transmission, warehousing in the unified data model allows us to get, okay, what is our KPIs and how are we doing with respect to those KPIs? It allows us to see the visualization so clearly with the help of Corva. So not only that, with our logistics capabilities, now coupling with the CNG transport and the gas supply to our next-gen fleets, we can optimize not just the way the equipment is being run, but we can optimize the fuel that's being applied to that equipment so that it runs at an optimal balanced load for longevity, for lower cost, and also for the best ESG output that we can get. So we think that what we've done in Nextier is not enough. So we've put it all together. We have the data, it's live streaming, and now what Corva is going to allow us to do is put it in a format that's customizable, that will give us what we really want to see. And that's their expertise. We handle our expertise, we bring them together, and I think it's going to be a wonderful thing. So Ben will go into some more detail on that.
All right, as you can tell, we're very excited about this partnership. So right now, we just want to start off by saying where our current operations really are today. So currently, many operations, especially in the completion site, exist in this digital space that's pictured here on the left, where there is typically little to no collaboration between the service company and the client's digital platform. You know, we see this as a very large gap in how we're operating today. You know, at best, this relationship supplies the client with redundant data, a lot of unneeded emails, and the consistent and underlying concern about whose data is correct. At worst, you know, this relationship can sometimes become hostile, especially if the service company has their own proprietary platform that's constantly competing for the client's data. In either case, the client always ends up getting the short end of the stick. They're having to navigate between the two companies instead of focusing on utilizing the data to meet their ultimate goal and improving their own operation. So this partnership between NexHub and Corva now gives us the ability to interact with our clients on the same platform in something of a digital sweet spot. This way that we can realize and create digital synergies between all of our organizations in order to drive towards the same goal. So first and foremost of these synergies is data transparency. How many times have you reviewed the same data from two different sources, but then eventually came at two completely different answers, taking your organizations in two completely different directions? So with this partnership, that will be a thing of the past. With everybody operating within the same platform, viewing the same data, driving the same decision, everyone can start moving to better everyone's operations for the good of the group. Unified data platforms will enable us to consolidate reporting, and that's going to give us the power to make decisions based on solid and unified data. Integration of new Nextier service lines, such as Power Solutions, which Ian talked about earlier, will be now plug and play to visualize for all of our clients through Corva's platform, creating a one-stop shop for all of your data hosted by Corva from Nextier. With Corva's expertise in the drilling space, NexHub is now going to be able to accelerate and enable real-time advanced analytics, such as Nextier's NextWatch, which Tom just spoke about previously, about our offset well monitoring program, and also our proprietary lateral science completion optimization program, both of which will add real-time value to any client stimulation program and maximize the return on any well. Lastly, our clients will now receive the combined development power of NexHub and the Corva's Dev Center. Instead of hiring expensive third-party contractors, today, Nextier has on staff our own developers who will be working side by side with Corva personnel in order to build custom applications for all of Nextier's service line and any of our clients. So as evidence to the strength of what these digital synergies can actually achieve, I'd like to quickly talk about an ongoing trial that Nextier and Corva has recently launched throughout the month of May. So we were actually approached by a major operator out of the Permian recently who was experiencing a very interesting problem that was specific to today's market. Due to the downturn through 2020 and the market conditions of the country post-COVID, they were having a lot of difficulty hiring experienced and qualified personnel to act as their consultants on their locations. And this became particularly difficult for them whenever they were trying to add additional fleets towards the end of last year. So they then requested that NexHub come up with a solution to assist them. So what we proposed was that they would be able to increase their current workforce scalability by utilizing NexHub tools and our Corva partnership in order to start remotely treating their wells from a central location. So we then proceeded to create a custom remote treatment strategy that used combined power of NexHub and Corva to enable their engineers to remotely treat and collaborate with the NexHub in order to successfully complete the project. I'm very happy to say that the trial has been a great success. The operator was able to successfully transition to remotely treating wells to an off-site location real time. To date, they've completed over 106 stages without any downtime associated from the transition remotely. And this is at a site that's actually 56 miles away from the current location of the wellhead. So our next steps are going to be actually increasing that radius from the well site and moving what we're kind of coining our mini NexHub as far back as their Houston headquarters or even their living room couches if they choose to. So now for our closing remarks, I'll pass it over to Ian.
Thanks, Ben. So the partnership of Nextier and Corva is opening up incredible opportunities to allow us to better manage our operations and to meet the demands of the current and future customer needs. Continuously improving costs through efficiencies and integration while reducing our carbon footprint are enabled by standardized, clear, and simple data that's easy to understand. We've been gathering and monitoring tremendous amounts of data for years, and now we have at our fingertips the opportunity to see reports that are crystal clear, that help us drive our business, align our employees, align the customer with the service company, and work together to continuously improve and optimize everything that we do. So thanks for your time. Thanks again, Corva, for inviting us in. Really appreciate it, and we'd love to hear your questions or feedback while we have some time.